Welcome back. With all this talk about failing pension plans and an ailing Social Security system, how secure will you be financially come retirement time? And is it ever too early to start thinking about this and planning for it? Seth Streeter is president of Mission Wealth Management in Santa Barbara. And you say start thinking about it and start saving up now because it's never too early. All right. We all want to retire as early as possible. We've got to be financially solvent to be able to do it. And we've got to look at three main things here to make sure that we're in the right track, right?
Absolutely.
Social Security, number one.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with Social Security? I mean, it's concerns a lot of people.
I think it's in great shape. Just kidding. Actually, it's in the media lately, Gabe, every single day. So Social Security is a significant concern for a number of reasons. Number one is the fact that current workers fund current retirees in Social Security.
Right.
In 1950, there were 16 workers for every one retiree. Currently, there's fewer than 3 workers for every one retiree.
Wow.
You couple that with the fact that people are living longer. The over 80 population in the United States is the fastest growing component of the population, growing 5 times faster than the national overall population. And you look at the fact that today there's about 28 million current retirees receiving Social Security. There'll be over 60 million retirees receiving Social Security 25 years down the road.
Okay, so if I'm banking entirely on Social Security to take care of me when I retire, I've got to think differently.
Think twice.
What about this concept of pensions and 401k plans, that kind of thing? That's going to protect me, isn't it?
Well, one might think that. Actually, when you look at the overall funding of retirement, it was supposed to be a 3-legged stool, 1/3 coming from Social Security, 1/3 coming from company pensions, as you mentioned, and 1/3 coming from personal savings. Yeah. If you look at the trends in current pensions, there are some very alarming trends going on. Number one, the fact that defined benefit plans are going to be a thing of the past very soon. You just spoke recently about United Airlines pension, what happened, IBM, a number of pensions. In fact, there's 73% fewer defined benefit pensions today than there were in 1985. 73%.
All right, so really then, ultimately, it's up to me.
Exactly.
It's up to that third prong in that stool you mentioned, which is I got to make sure I'm saving enough money and planning financially now to make sure that I can take care of myself.
Absolutely.
Come retirement time. All right, so how do I know how much money I should be saving, making, putting, what, can you break it down for me?
Sure, absolutely can. I mean, the simple answer is as much as possible. Yeah. But people always want to know, well, what really should I be saving to be on track for financial independence? Right. And we actually put together a slide that we might refer to now that will give us kind of an idea as to what is required.
And this is just realistic. So, I mean, when I first saw this, it kind of freaked me out. But we'll put these numbers up, and we'll kind of walk through because you're breaking it down at age. I'm not 35 yet, but let's talk about the 35-year-old making, say, $50,000 a year. I've got to save 31% of my income every month. Right?
Absolutely.
$1,200 a month.
You need to be saving $1,200 a month if you hope to have one day at your age 65 a lifestyle of $60,000 a year after taxes.
Okay, and if I make $100,000 at age 35, I've got to save $1,100 a month,
which is 14% of your gross earnings.
Now, the older I get, if we jump down to 45 years of age, for example, and this is considering you're starting now to save.
Exactly.
The numbers get a little bigger.
Absolutely.
Right?
The longer you wait, the more you're going to have to save. And it's probably not realistic for people to save 50% of their income. That's why it's absolutely critical that people start today.
At 45, at $100,000 there on the far right, you've got to save 21% of your income, or $1,780 a month. So again, live that lifestyle as if you had been making 60 grand a year.
Exactly. And Gabe, I'd like to add to this that this does assume that Social Security stays intact, which we just spoke about might not be the case. It's supposed to bankrupt in 2042. It also assumes that you're going to average a 3% inflation rate and an 8% average rate of return on investments, which also is not guaranteed.
And that graphic illustrated beautifully how really the later, if you start thinking about retirement at age 50, thinking, well, I'll retire at 64, I got 14 years. That may be for a lot of people a little too late. Do you see people getting a little concerned? I mean, it's almost like the kind of thing you don't want to look at because the realism is it's a pill that's tough to swallow.
Exactly. And I think the number one step for people is to actually wake up and look at the reality of the situation that if you don't start today, no one's going to do it for you. You can't count on the government. You can't count on your employer. It's up to you to take control of your future. So I would just challenge every single viewer here to take one small step, say by tomorrow. You know, increase your 401k by 2%. Pay down your credit card a little bit more than you did before. Open a Roth IRA. Go seek professional guidance.
And if you need some guidance, Seth is over there with Mission Wealth Management. If you're watching this on Sunday morning, call him tomorrow, Monday. 882-2360 is the phone number, or missionwealth.com is the website, missionwealth.com. And now's the time. Seth, thanks for coming in. That'll do it for our edition of the Coastal Business Report.